Hi guys, Freddy here with the development vlog for BeyondD6 for what is today, the 2nd of November 2018. Now, I've got to apologise for having not done an update in a while. I can make all sorts of excuses, friends in hospital, I've had a lot of work on, I was quite ill last week, but it's been a month, and that's way too long for me not to update. And the true reason is most probably the fact I'm getting a little bit scared. BeyondD6 is pretty much where it should be for presenting to people. We've been testing it for weeks now and it's working great. There's been a few modifications to it, nothing massive. There's a large new feature which I'll demonstrate today. But apart from that, BeyondD6 is there. A little bit off where I'd wanted it to be. There's obviously a million and one other features I can add. There's lots of cool ideas I've got, additions to functions which are already in there, brand new ones to add, just lots and lots of cool ideas. But I'm getting a little bit shy. The idea of putting it out there so people can judge it is scary. And that's why I've been holding off. So I'm going to lay down some time limits. So everybody who's signed up for testing, you'll get an email within the next 2 weeks with the survey that I need for what you can do. And within about a week after that, you'll receive your beta test passwords. There's some elements I want to do, so I'm not showing absolute alpha test code to you. Stuff I'm still testing in-house. But I should be able to get that done in the next week and get you your passwords and usernames out. Thank you to the bunch of people who have signed up. I think I've got about 30, 40 names, which is way more than I need. But thank you very much. Anyway, I will demonstrate to you the changes that I've made to BeyondD6. If we go over to my desktop, there we go, and I'll turn to my screen so I can actually see what I'm doing. And this obviously looks exactly the same. We log in as usual. This is the test site, so I'm running it back on my desktop, so things will be running a little slow again. We click on the adventures, and we're going to create. And we've got here, in this campaign, all that's been created. Well, there's a new section for maps. I've created one. So if I go into the maps, it all loads in. We can see it doesn't look great, but each square is either blank or it's got something in it. So if it's blank, I choose something. Let's add some more grass. And just click on the squares and it gets added. Every time I go towards filling the edge of the map, it will add a new row. So basically the map is only limited by the size of the database, which I believe is like 2 million squares from the center in every direction. To get rid of things, you just click the cross. If you add something which you can cycle through, so if I select a wall and put it there, then I click that and I can turn the wall through different directions. I'll point out none of these are finalized graphics and they're not in the right sequence. Obviously the symbol is showing for it to turn that way and it's turning the opposite, which is very counterintuitive. Just needs a wee bit of fixing. But essentially that's it. If I want to build a wall, I can click these. And there we've got a wall. I can add a bit of floor next to it. I can add a window. and rotate it. We've got doors, stairs, curved corners, etc. Cycle through that. And we can cycle through different types of flooring pattern if we want sort of rusty flooring in an area, cracked slabs, tiles, etc, etc. And so scroll down, you can see I've done a very rudimentary building here, some path leading up, a wee sort of curved outhouse with 2 windows, a path leading in between, doors into this building, stairs going down or up, doors going through, a bit of decking out here. It's very rudimentary. As I said, the final graphics are not in yet, but it's working. We can add a description. I've still got debug code down here telling me the size of the map. You name it, you can click update, but the changes are pretty much made. And if we go into the game itself, so if I click on play, taking a wee while, loading everything up. We've got Freddy's map. And here it still shows the blank squares, but it doesn't offer us the blank ones around the edges. So if I'd bothered to make all that fit, I intend to add a sizing one so you can make the map a lot smaller so you can see the whole thing. You can zoom in for details. I think this is way too large, but that would do for a zoomed in version. And that's one of the big features. I can't remember if this was added last time, but all the Stats of RPG Gamer now have roll buttons. I intend to add that to campaign text as well if I go back to games. So, create text. And there'll be one of them which isn't a graphical background and isn't just plain, but it'll be roll dice, and it'll search the text for D6s, you know, skill at 3 dice plus 1, and add the roll button next to it. It'll scan through the text automatically. I might have to check that that goes up high enough. I think it goes high as 20 dice, but I could be wrong. Anyway, that's the kind of major change I've made. I want to add tile sets, so not only can you just add walls and paths and things, but you could zoom out and do buildings and roads, trees, etc, etc. But that's just a matter of adding tiles. The code is there, and the basic functionality is there. All that's left is for me to spend some time and flesh it out a bit. And that's pretty much all I've got. I've set myself a deadline for updating, and we'll go to beta and we'll see what people say. Thank you, as always, very, very much for watching. If you're at all interested in what I'm doing, the usual updates, the retro RPG ones, I discovered that Greg Safford, who created or was one of the names behind Ghostbusters and Call of Cthulhu, died recently, so I might do a Heroes of RPG on him in memoriam to him. I'm afraid so many of my Heroes of RPGs have ended up being about people who have passed away, which I never intended. I thought I'd be doing nice cheery ones about guys who are still doing fun stuff. Guess we're getting to that age. Role-playing's early years, the people who set everything up, was in the 70s. They were in their 20s and 30s back then, so we're getting to that age, I'm afraid. Oh, I feel so old. My grey beard. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing at all, and I will catch you later. You look after yourselves. Bye now.